Hello everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm the Autistic Dog Wizard. Today I would like to introduce you to the members of my pack. I have 9 dogs. This here is Diesel. I've had him for a little over 2 years. He came to me from a client's reference where he was in a difficult situation where he was living with a street person who had passed away, and then the person who was running the shelter, the men's shelter, took him in for 2 years. Unfortunately had a terrible incident where he got into a fight with their Chihuahua and the Chihuahua passed away. Terrible incident. And then she kept Diesel for another year after that. So she lived with this memory and this energy for a year, and it slowly started to deteriorate to the point where she had to decide whether to find him a new home because he had high anxiety or to euthanize him. So it took me a couple months because I was in a sort of a difficult living situation at the time, but I ended up adopting him, and he was very difficult at the beginning. I used to try to fight the dogs pretty often, and he would have high level anxiety whenever I would leave. So I've worked with him a lot, and he's become a very good member of the pack. Very trustworthy actually, although he does still have the ability to correct dogs. This is Diesel. Oh, Deez. He's going to be my dog for the rest of his life. This here is Jazzy. She's a Catahoula leopard dog. I've had Jazzy. Jazzy is an interesting story. She came up from Texas as a rescue, went to a few different homes, was described as a killer from one of the homes, very malnourished, very skinny, and so a lovely family adopted her, but they already had 2 dogs and it wasn't going well because she was getting into serious fights, and at one point she did have an incredible fight where she bit one of the owners. Catahoula dogs are not a first-time dog owner type dog, even a second or third, fourth-time dog owner. It takes a lot of experience to have a dog like this. Stop. She fit in right away because she's dominant, so dominant dogs generally are the easiest dogs to manage. She'll be with me most likely for the rest of her life because she's a difficult dog. Catahoulas are not the kind of dog you can just find a new home for. She had heartworm at one point. It took about a year to recover from, but now she's physically healthy, she's mentally healthy, and she's a very respectful, good member of the pack. The old jazz. This dog's name is Tulo. I've had Tulo for the second longest of all the dogs here. Originally he was adopted at 11 months old from a family who just didn't have enough time to handle or give the needs for a high-level, high-energy dog. He's a walker hound. Dominant dog, maybe the top male of the group. I've been through a lot with this dog. He has the experience of me living with Renee up at the dog farm with lots of dogs, so he's got lots of social experience. This is a dog that could find a new home because he's friendly with people and he's generally good with dogs, good at the dog park and all that kind of stuff. I've had him for about 7 years. So this next dog, his name is Lita. Lita used to be my parents' dog. She's from Costa Rica. Her issue, the reason why she came to me, but all the dogs that have come to me, I haven't gone out to seek them. They've come to me for various reasons. This one had a physical disability where she had broken her back and she became paralyzed from the waist down. So they were going to euthanize her, and my brother called me up one day and said, would you like to take Lita? And I knew that I had the environment and the right energy and the pack to help her motivate her movement. A dog who has a physical disability like that needs motivation, the proper motivation, and not to feel sorry for them, but to encourage them by movement with the pack. Good girl. So Lita has the most social experience of all the dogs here. She's regained her mobility, and she's a very happy little dog. So this is Lita. This next dog's name is Molly. Molly used to be my sister's dog and my brother-in-law. She's a difficult dog to manage, high level excitement, but generally well socialized, no aggressive issues. Stay. They were going to be having a baby. One of her issues was that she was overexcited with people greeting at the door with a lot of kind of puppy mauling. Stay. Which was going to eventually increase to her becoming more in control of the household with putting fear into the humans. And that would translate into eventually biting somebody. So I took her in, about 3 years ago now, and she's a very trustworthy member of the pack. where I can trust her with all dogs, even though she has a high level of tenaciousness about her. She never escalates to a point where I have to address her serious behaviors. So she doesn't display serious behaviors, just mild behaviors. She's from northern Alberta. Her mix is most likely German Shepherd, Husky, maybe Ridgeback in her as well. Maui, come. Good girl. So Maui. Okay, this is the oldest dog of the pack. I've had her the longest. This dog's name is Rhea. Now, she used to be a client of mine. One of the reasons why this dog ended up being my personal dog is because they weren't able to manage the dog's behavior on the doorway, the entranceway for people coming into the house. It's a big deal for the dogs in order to control that situation, that context. So things progressed and escalated to a point where she ended up biting someone in the face, a little child, and they immediately drove up to the dog rescue I was working on, and they handed her over to me then and there. So I've had her for about 8 years. She's been through the most experiences with me of all the dogs here. She's from Northern Ontario, probably a Husky, who was Husky mix with Lab and Shepherd, fending for herself on a reserve. And so she's a good hunter. She knows how to hunt. One of the first walks I ever took her on, even as a puppy, she caught a rabbit. This the old Ray Ray. This next dog's name is Gia. He used to belong to the previous owner of this house, my landlord, who I've lived with off and on for 20 years, and he passed away 2 years ago, so I took ownership of this dog. But he would actually be a dog that's ready for adoption because he doesn't have any behavioral issues. He didn't come to me for behavioral issues. He's the only dog here that did not come to me for behavioral issues. Very social, very good with dogs, a healer, very interested in the well-being of others. He is a Great Pyrenees Husky and Border Collie mix. He's the biggest dog of the group. So this is old Gio. And he's about 2.5 years old, going on 3 in October. Okay, this next dog's name is Daisy. She's a dog with some of the most severe behavioral issues that I adopted 2 years ago. She came to me because she was going to be euthanized for human aggression. They called me at 2 o'clock, said she was going to be euthanized at 4 o'clock, and I said, you don't need to euthanize her, she just needs an experience. It's been a struggle with her. It was a struggle for about 1.5 years, and now she's been here for 2 years. She's really starting to let go. She's part Australian Shepherd and Turkish Kangal, I believe. It's hard, I don't know for sure, but that's what they say. I saw Daisy. I wouldn't even have been able to pet her when I first got here. Like me putting my hands on her like this, she would never allow me to do that. So we built a lot of trust and a lot of respect with this dog. So she's actually much more trustworthy now. I have a much better comfortable feeling with her. So this is Daisy. This is my bull terrier. Her name is Sophie. This dog came to me from a dog trainer in town who adopted her but was in over her head because she had come from a dog fighting ring and all she knew was kill, kill, kill. She was forced to fight her friends and to actually kill her friends. So she came to me in a highly aggressive state, under-exercised, haywire mind. So I've had a struggle and I have a difficult time, the most difficult time of all the dogs here I've had with her because she's highly dog aggressive, so she can't be around other dogs without a muzzle. I have walked her in the pack many, many times, hundreds of times, but I've sort of reduced that amount during her later years of her life because she's just too reactive when she sees a dog, and it teaches the other dogs to become reactive as well. But she's taught me the most about my own fear level inside. So this dog has taught me the most about my own self, and I can't thank her enough for doing that. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to each individual dog and a little bit of their story. Stay tuned, I'm going to do a more in-depth story on each individual dog. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. I'm the Autistic Dog Wizard.